expect to see from the Mystics this offseason in what they're calling a rebuild, but might not have to last as long, maybe as initially anticipated?
I don't know what they are going to do in the draft. They won't tell me that.
What
But
you do?
what I want to see, I want to see Sonia Citron get some help on the wing. Like, I don't know if Azzi Fudd is going to last as long as some of the highest picks the Mystics have, but how great it would be to get a sharpshooter who can really knock down some threes on the perimeter, or even just kind of create action on the outside to really help Sonia Citron in that regard. I would love to see just kind of a little bit more offensive firepower that could really carry them into the playoffs down the line. I'm so basic. I'm like, yes, shoot, make the baskets, go. Offense, yay.
Offense is fun.
Yeah.
Offense is fun. I mean, look at the popularity of the W at this point. It's not because Caitlin Clark just, makes
Plays
these
great
super
defense.
easy shots.
Yeah.
It's because she plays great defense. It's like we all fall in love with the half-court shots.
Yeah.
Look, we're all very easy to please.
There
Just
you go.
high offense, score a lot of points, and make crazy baskets. Like, we're simple creatures. Is Azzi Fudd the best player in this upcoming draft?
Yes, I think so. I mean, I also love watching Lauren Betts play, and she maybe is ready for kind of the physicality of the WNBA, because I do tend to think that's kind of what making that leap from college to the W entails most. You got to be ready to get beat up. Like, that's what we saw this season. But man, watching that game last night that Azzi Fudd played in, I can't think of anyone who's going to be kind of more championship ready than she is, honestly.
Definitely fundamentally wise, like, her shot is so pretty, and it's really hard to think of anyone else who can match her in that. Just very quick, very solid every single time. I know we're not talking college, but like that game last night, her dad is always saying if he sees her aggressive on her 3-pointer early, like, it's going to be a good night. We saw it last night.
Yeah, and she's such a good decision maker too. She's really, really skilled at reading the floor.
Yeah, she's just an absolute blast to watch. And you pair her with Sarah Strong now at UConn. It's almost like, I don't want to say no Paige, no problem, because I know the Paige Brigade would come for me. And that's not true. But at times it looks like, hey, Sarah Strong and Azzi are like, we got it. No worries. Paige, you go ahead. You go do your thing. We'll hold down the fort here. If we want to transition to the college game, looking at the Mystics and how they want to continue to build, they're not only the team that they're not the only team that's looking to rebuild or that has a treasure trove of picks to move themselves into the championship conversation. What are some other college players that you are looking at right now to potentially be a top 5 pick in this upcoming WNBA draft?
I want to see what Olivia Miles can do after having to wait a whole another year. I'm like, Olivia, you're holding out on me. No, I'm really excited about Olivia Miles just because I think it's going to be such an interesting fit for her to see. She really is someone who I feel like you could kind of slot in anywhere. So I'm excited to see how her college season goes, just in terms of taking her out of her comfort zone a little bit. Are you going to be able to produce at the same level? Are you going to have the same kind of chemistry? And I think that'll tell us a lot about how she does in the WNBA. But like, after just getting so excited for her last year, I'm like, okay, just go this year, girl. Come on, just show me what you can do. But she's, I think, definitely my number one. Yeah. I'm excited about a lot of the young players too. That's why I had to be like, oh, right. Yes. The seniors, when all these freshmen and sophomores are so good too.
Just quickly on Olivia Miles, it is an interesting aspect of the transfer portal, kind of exactly what you said. Like, transferring shows you if you can assimilate with a new team quickly and build quick chemistry, which is interesting, especially when you get to the W and you have a year like this year where everyone's a free agent and you may have never played with the same 5 ever previous to this.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about it like that. Yeah, I've just been thinking like the messy version where I'm like, okay, we're going to find out who the problem, like, was the problem the program, was the problem
That's
you?
fair.
Like, no, but that's a very good point with this year coming up in free agency. Yeah.
Both things incredibly
you got to think of both.
We had massive names in the transfer portal this past season. Tanaya Latson transferred from Florida State to South Carolina. Mylasia Full-Wiley from South Carolina to LSU. Guys, I think that's a great point of how do these players deal with overcoming changes and coaching changes. I think we saw Haley Van Lith go through that same process. Initially transferring to LSU, struggling at LSU, then transferring to TCU, and it was like a renaissance for her career. So I think it is fascinating to see kind of how they can readjust in new environments. And while we're on the topic of college stars and names we're going to keep an eye on, I feel like we've all been robbed of the fact that I'm so sad that we don't get to see JuJu Watkins this season.
Yeah.
She's out for the season, of course, with an ACL tear that she suffered last season. JuJu was coming into this year as the face of women's college basketball. She's in the Nike ads, the Gatorade ads. She is everywhere. Who will be the new face of women's college basketball this season in JuJu's absence? I
love that question because I've really been like keeping an eye out on Instagram, honestly, seeing who's doing the photo shoots, who's doing the big interviews. Azzi Fudd has been all over my timeline. I don't know about you guys. I think she's a good option. I think Lauren Betts is a good option at UCLA. UCLA has such a high stakes year. Like, I do feel like they have to really get things done this year after being kind of not quite ready to meet the moment. Last year in championship weekend, that feels like me being on the East Coast in DC, I'm like, I don't get to see them play that because like they're either late at night or they're like playing. I'm just like, I don't know who's on your schedule. So that's my bias. But I do think it's going to be Azzi. I think Sarah Strong is so funny to me as kind of a complimentary piece to her just because she is so quiet, and like seeing her on the press conference dais is like a pure comedy show. When you ask her a question, she just looks at someone like this. And I'm like, no, I asked you the question. And yeah, there are a lot of other. Hannah Hidalgo is an option. I think you have a lot of really good personalities in the SEC. I'm thinking of Texas just because I've got family who went to UT. So I'm always like, Madison Booker. Yes, Rory Harmon. It's your time. So I think it will be hard to dethrone Azzi, but I think there are so many good characters kind of sprinkled across the country.
A lot of personalities for coaches in the SEC as well.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, Dawn Staley, Kim Mulkey, are they always the face? Sure, yeah.
Picks for national champion on November 5th. Are we willing to go there? Who is going to be UConn, you guys? Like,
That's a good question.
Who's going to be in this team? That's what I'm so like reticent to just be like, yeah, they're going to repeat. But like, you watch them play in that game against, what was it, number 20 Louisville, and just how they came out of the gate. And I was like, oh, I can relax in the second quarter now. I can't think of anyone who can, with Sarah Strong rebounding like she is, they're experienced. They're a different team. They seem so confident. Like, to your point of like Paige, who we saw her, I think she was interviewed on the sidelines there because it's her off season. Why would she not be around the team? Whatever. And I was just like, you Paige, come on, let them cook. Go away. I don't want the Paige stands in my DMs either. But no, I really can't think of anyone right now who can kind of, maybe if South Carolina gets hot, if Latson really adds to that structure. I'm so fascinated to see that. LSU with Flau'jae in there, who's that's who I forgot to say, candidate for face of women's basketball. She definitely has the personality for it. But I don't know, guys. I think it's going to be UConn again.
It's very hard to think of a team right now that could defeat them.
It really does. And the SEC is stacked. The ACC is stacked. I just look at some of those conferences with teams that probably could contend against UConn that are going to be so banged up after the grind of their conference schedule. So
that's a great point.
Like, it is UConn until somebody proves me differently.